everybody, and welcome to the Tipsy Theory podcast. My name's Alicia.
My name is Adrian.
And today we're doing another segment of The More You Know, but this time we're going to do a Canadian edition.
Yeah, we have some wonderful Canadian trivia for you. Things you may have heard of, things you definitely have not heard of, but we're going to go through all of those fun facts with you today on The More You Know Canadian edition. This episode is brought to you by Groundhog.io, marketing automation for WordPress. Groundhog, by the way, with two G's, H-O-G-G, just because they wanted to trademark it. And today's drink of choice is...
The Belgian Moon.
The Belgian Moon.
We're going really simple with just a beer today.
Alicia's favorite beer, by the way.
It is. I love it.
The only problem with Belgian Moon that I had, while cold, it is delicious, and it's very hearty and like thick beer, so it's like really filling. But it's not very. If it's warm,
it's really filling.
It's very filling. But warm, you don't want to be drinking.
That's with
Belgian
any
Moon.
beer though. Any beer is gross warm.
I mean, if you're like drinking like Coors Light, like lukewarm, it's not that big of a deal because it's basically just water anyway.
I mean, but Coors Light's not beer.
I mean, yeah, fair enough. But it's not terrible.
That's fair.
Yeah. Well, anyway. So we have some wonderful Canadian facts for you that I'm really looking forward to, and I have one. By the way, you can absolutely follow along to these awesome facts. So,
well, some of them I have other tabs open.
Some of them, but the ones that I'm going to be reading are all from a website called factslides.com/S-capital-CANADA. That's Canada, if you can't spell. And so you can head on over to that website. Again, that's factslides.com/S-capital-CANADA. And I am spelling that right? I'm not crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. And you can just click through those slides there and find all the sources for these crazy statistics and facts there if you'd like.
I'm really excited to learn today.
You're excited to learn? I'm excited to learn.
I feel like I don't know much about the country as we should.
Here's a funny thing, though. This is the second time we're recording this podcast.
And I'm still going to learn something new.
And we're still going to learn something
Well, to be fair, we didn't get through the slides last time, and there's new websites, so...
We did. We actually recorded this entire podcast. And we just invested in all this new podcast equipment.
Keep in mind, Adrian's our tech guy,
and I'm the tech guy, so I'm in charge of like setting up the recording equipment and making sure everything's plugged in properly, and that Audacity, the software that uses recording and everything. But what happened was when we started recording, we had our headphones in, and we have our headphones plugged into the mixer, and we can hear ourselves fine. Turns out, though, the whole recording session was using the laptop built-in microphone.
That was annoying.
So there goes 40 minutes of our lives that we'll never get back. But I digress. So we're doing it again, and we're going to learn new things because we have new facts.
Yeah, we made sure it wasn't going to be the same ones.
So hopefully we'll do a little bit better this time with the technology. But Alicia, why don't you just take us into our first interesting fact on The More You Know about Canada?
You want me to start? I wasn't ready to start.
All right, well, you're going to start anyway, so...
Well, should I just do the ones from the fact slides?
No, start us off with the easy one.
With, like, a headline?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so I found a bunch of the weirdest headlines in Canada, which are going to be a bit different than the facts, because they're not really facts, they're just headlines.
All right, where would someone go to fact-check these headlines?
Ranker.com.
Ranker.com.
Ranker.
Totally reputable. Link in the description below.
Hey, no, it is, okay? So, and it has it's signed. It has sources, kind of. So, CBC News posted an article, and the headline is, Ontario thief returns stolen goods and leaves $50 for the damages that he caused for those stolen goods.
Stole from where?
From a store.
From which store?
I don't know.
We don't know.
I mean, I can look into it. You're not supposed to question it. You're just supposed to read it.
Okay, so wait. So read the headline one more time.
Ontario thief returns stolen goods and leaves $50 for damages.
All right. Well, if I was a thief, is that a thief or a good Samaritan?
I actually have a similar case that happened in Nova Scotia as well. This isn't on these slides, but a man robbed a bank at gunpoint, stole the money, went around the corner, sat in a convenience store, felt guilty, and then returned it while the police were still on scene investigating. So is it a negative and a positive?
Do they cancel out, or do you just go to jail?
I feel like you still just go to jail.
You most definitely.
I feel
just
like
still go
there's
to
a different
jail.
thing because this guy here would have stolen like a few things from a store, right? But if you fucking robbed a bank at gunpoint, I feel like you're going to jail regardless if you return the money or not.
Yeah, no, most definitely, you're going to jail. There is no question about that.
Such a Canadian thing, though.
Indeed. All right. Well, I have a second fact up here.
Okay.
This is not a headline, but this is just an interesting fact. So apparently, Canada, are the Great White North, consumes more macaroni and cheese than any other world nation.
That honestly doesn't surprise me.
It does not surprise me one bit, considering that you eat most of it.
Well, to be fair, it's easy. It's simple.
It is.
It's delicious.
It is delicious. So, but when they say macaroni and cheese, do they mean like the homemade macaroni, or just like the Kraft Dinner?
No, they totally mean the KD.
They totally
Come
mean
on,
the Kraft
we're
Dinner,
Canadians.
right? We have like an entire aisle in the grocery store just dedicated to Kraft Dinner.
Is Kraft Dinner just Canadian? It can't be, right? It's American too.
No, Kraft is an American brand, isn't it?
We've just adopted it. I think you're right.
Is it? I don't know. I feel like I don't know. We're gonna have to research that a little bit more. I don't actually know, but I have an excellent Kraft Dinner recipe that is different from the one that's on the box. Would you like to hear it?
Yes.
So, my Kraft Dinner recipe is we go buy a 10-pack of wieners, right? So you get your top dogs or your Schneiders or whatever you want to, whatever your preferred wiener is, and you cut those up into some slices, and you pan sear those in some oil or whatever, and you fry them on both sides, so you get like this nice kind of like crispy outer like wiener type deal. And then you just toss those in with your regular Kraft Dinner made from the box, and then you lather all of it in heavy amounts of ketchup.
Well, Ethan, is the ketchup's for champions. Like, if you don't eat Kraft Dinner with
You're a monster.
ketchup, you're a monster.
Just there's no question about it. If you do not eat Kraft Dinner with ketchup, then there is something wrong with you.
And by the way, I did fact check it. Kraft Dinner is in the United States, Australia, and Canada.
So we have it in all of these places.
Yeah.
Cool.
But I feel like Canadians have claimed it as their own.
Yeah, well, we are a mac and cheese nation, as these fact slides would suggest. All right, why don't you bring us on to number 2?
Are you ready for another headline?
I am.
Sister hits moose on the way to visit her sister who had already hit a moose.
Is that ironic? Is that an appropriate use of that word? Of irony?
Yeah, I would say it's ironic.
Or it's just heavy coincidence.
Honestly, though, does that really surprise you if you're farther up north?
There are lots of meese. Can we call them meese?
No, you
Mooses?
cannot call them moose. They're just moose. I think there's no plural.
Moose.
But
there are lots of moose in the up north area, bud.
I have a story for you.
You have a story for me, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
So,
please do tell.
up north, kind of like, norther than Goderich, if anybody knows where that
Norther.
is. Norther.
Everybody take word that norther should be added to the English dictionary.
Yes. One of my friends got a brand new pickup truck and was driving it down the highway at like, I want to say it was daylight. It was like 4 p.m. or something, and smashed into a moose.
Smashed into a moose. Well, moose are like
it
massive
totaled his car.
creatures.
It was completely disabled. Like, he bought the car.
How was the moose?
He was driving it from the dealership. I think it was dead, sadly, or injured, and they put it down. But he was driving it from the dealership.
Right.
And it got completely totaled.
Oof.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, like, moose are... I'm not sure if you've ever seen a moose in real life. Have you?
I mean, not like zoos.
I like zoos. If you like... I think I've seen once a wild moose.
Where were you?
I don't know
when
where
you
the
saw
hell.
a moose?
It was a really long time
Because there's
ago.
no moose near here.
No, I think it was like up north, like Muskoka area or whatever. It was huge, massive creature,
They're terrifying.
like a story and a half tall.
That's a bit extreme.
It was I was smaller probably at the time, so it looked like a story and a half tall. But I mean, like, if you've seen like just those 4-legged animals in general, because if you ever like see the police horses in downtown
the
Toronto,
police horses are huge.
they're massive.
Mm-hmm.
They tower over like the tallest of vans, and it's just like crazy. Anyway, so if you like ran into one of those things, it's like no question that your car.
You're just lucky
toast.
that like the only thing that's scary about it too.
Thing's
like,
probably heavier than the car.
Yeah, I could go through a windshield, right? Like, it's not a safe experience.
Take the windshield. They take the roof right off of the sedan.
Honestly.
All right, I have our next fact.
Okay, go ahead.
The residents of Churchill, Canada. Churchill, Canada, by the way, is right up at the northern border of Manitoba, and just next to Nunavut, or just south of the border of Nunavut, on the Hudson's Bay. And residents of Churchill, Canada, leave their cars unlocked to offer an escape for pedestrians who might encounter polar bears.
That's the most Canadian thing I've ever heard.
Because you know when you're in a bind and you're just walking down the street and, oh shit, there's a polar bear. Where am I going to go? It's like you just have like a convenient car that might be located maybe like 2 kilometers down the road because nobody lives there.
Well, how big is the population? Like, do they have to worry about...
I think it's something like 800.
Because, if Toronto worked together and was like, there's a massive geese attack right now, let's just leave our car unlocked so you can run away from the geese.
Which is not, out of the realm of question.
It is not.
Geese are terrifying.
Vicious.
I watched a video there's a video circulating on Facebook, and it's like geese versus bull. And
oh my God.
It's just it's a freaking goose, like in this field, and there's a bunch of like cows around it. And this geese is good, and the cows are like very obviously upset that this goose is here. But the goose is just staying put, and they're like charging this goose, and the goose is like, I'm not having any of it. And just like stands off and wins against like 5 cows, and it's ridiculous.
Have you seen that viral video that went viral, I think like last summer? And it was this man who had stopped on like, I think it was like a 401. It was one of the 400 series highways. And he stopped because there was a geese crossing with its babies, and one of the babies couldn't get up onto the curb to get like out of the highway. So the man like tried to like pick up the baby to like put it onto the curb, and the mama goose like attacked the shit out of him. He's like on the ground with this goose on top of him. And he had to like grab it by the neck and like throw it down the highway. Have you seen this?
I have not, but that sounds incredible.
It is like he is on the floor being attacked by this mama goose. It's awful.
You don't mess with the goose, man.
No, they're terrifying. Like when I see them, I walk like around them, like significantly around them, because I'm afraid that if I get too close, especially in the spring when they're having babies, that I will be dead.
Where's the scrappiest place in Canada, do you think?
What do you mean?
What's the scrappiest city in Canada? Like where people are like just super scrappy.
What do you mean by scrappy?
I don't know, like fight me.
Like Guelph?
Yeah. So why can't we just call them like Guelph geese instead of Canada geese?
Well, people call them the rats of the north.
The rats of that is a suiting name. That is a suiting name.
Except rats don't attack you.
That depends on what country you're from.
That's
probably.
fair. That's fair. New York probably has some vicious rats.
Racks.
Rats.
Do they have some vicious racks?
I guess.
God, I don't know. That cleavage looks pretty menacing.
Oh my God.
All right, what's our next one?
Okay, I'm gonna have to Google this one because I've seen it before, but it's flying bear kills 2 Canadians in a freak accident.
Flying bear kills 2 Canadians in a freak accident.
Yes.
Yes. All right, let's get some context on this, because this there's some missing. That's some bait click. If I'm
pulling it up. No, it's real. So National Post,
June 7th,
2011, in Ottawa. A man and a woman were killed in a freak accident in Quebec, not far from Ottawa, on Monday night when another car struck a bear, causing the animal to fly and crash into another victim's vehicle.
So it wasn't really flying.
It sent the animal flying through the air and slammed into a windshield on the second vehicle where it killed 2 people.
How big was it? Do we know?
300-pound bear.
300 pounds.
Crashed through the windshield, striking a 25-year-old Ottawa woman and a 40-year-old man from Quebec.
What a way to go. Was the bear okay?
I'm assuming not, if the 2 passengers were killed on impact. I'm trying to see. The bear died.
That is hella unfortunate.
But could you imagine being the police officer on the end of the phone being like, ma'am, we have a situation down here. Both of your family members are dead. They seem to have gotten hit by a flying bear.
If only we had dash cam footage of that incident.
Like, how do you describe that?
I don't even. The incident report must have been an interesting write-up.
Honestly, it's crazy.
All right, I have one here.
Okay.
So in 2010, a Canadian man rescued a newborn baby from a dumpster, only to find out he was the father.
Did you fact check this?
I don't. All right, so I'm going to click on the source.
Click on the source here. I need more explanation.
I'm going to click on the source.
So
we're gonna It's from the Toronto Sun, and it's a 404 page, which is kind of unfortunate.
Oof.
Yeah, so I'm not sure how legitimate this story is.
So let's just try to explain that though, real quick. So
all right, let's get some theories going.
He found a baby in a dumpster,
Right?
Because his wife gave birth and threw it out in their dumpster, and then he heard it crying and pulled the baby out of the dumpster and was like, "It's a baby." And then he was like, "Oh shit, it's my baby."
That would be probably the most obvious explanation. But Alicia's been watching what's the show? Jane the Virgin.
Jane the Virgin.
So I'm going to come up with an even
Go
crazier
for it.
story.
Try and do it.
For the sake of argument. So.
Are you ready? So the evil twin sister. Spoil alerts, guys.
So what happens is he dates this girl in the neighborhood, right? Let's assume he's from a small town.
Okay.
Everybody knows everybody. Everybody knows your name. And everybody knows everybody, right? And this girl really likes him, but he's not that into her. So what she does is she hides in his lover's closet, right? And then waits until, they get busy, comes out of the closet, finds, and he's a pull-out kind of guy. So she then uses whatever's left over from their session, artificially inseminates herself, right? But then she realizes that she carries the baby, right? And then she eventually gives birth, but she realizes that she can't afford it. So she ditches it in a dumpster. He's just walking by, minding his own business, hears him crying, and then boom, it's his baby. He doesn't know how it got there or whose it is.
So then how does he know it's his?
Well, they go get a DNA test. It's like, oh my God, it's yours.
So they take the baby. No, there's more. So he doesn't know whose baby it is. So they take it on Dr. Phil to decide out, be like, whose baby is this? And like, well, let's DNA test you, sir. And they DNA test him, and they're like, you are the father. That's not Dr. Phil.
I hope they named it Luke, because I think it'd be like, Luke, I am your father.
That's fucking crazy. Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready. I
want to read you just like the starter of the headline to see if you can guess what it's about.
All right.
Double trouble.
All right, well, obviously this is a Tim Hortons story.
Nova Scotia man arrested after breaking into a Tim Hortons and making himself coffee.
You have to be really dedicated to the brand.
Nova Scotia RCMP said a 22-year-old Conrail Mills man faces charges of break and enter as well as mischief in relation to the early morning incident.
That is some really... I mean, I like Tim Hortons coffee, right?
I don't.
I mean, a lot of people don't. I mean, if you get doubles, though, then you're not really there for the coffee.
No, like, I prefer McDonald's, but...
I personally, I'm a half cream kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
My order is a medium half cream.
But how often do they get that right?
I think, well, the thing is, like, it's not hard to mess up because the way they put cream is they just have buttons on a machine, and it automatically dispenses the amount of cream that you ordered.
Yeah, but they don't get it sometimes.
What do you mean?
Like half cream, they're like, we only have full cream.
Who does? I've never heard that before.
I've had to order your coffees before. I get trouble with it all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
By
all the time, I mean that one time in like a drive-through gas station. But like, I was like, can I have a coffee with half cream? And they're like, what kind of percent cream? I don't think we have half cream.
What kind of...
I'm not kidding.
Half cream is the amount, not the actual constitution.
Wasn't me. I was like, no, just like one cream, but like half of that.
No, like, because like when you go and order like a half cream, you actually just mean because if you order medium coffee and say half cream, that means they put the amount of like one cream that they'd put in a small coffee. But you just like, because you need to put more cream the more coffee it is, so you order half cream, so they put a one cream for a small coffee in your medium cup.
See, I don't know. I just always order one milk when I
right.
order coffees from Tim Hortons.
Right. Fair enough. All right, so here's an interesting fact. Canada apparently has an official phone number, which is 1-800-O-Canada. So I highly encourage you to call this phone number right now. Do it.
Right now?
Right now. Well, no, not us, the listener.
Oh, I was totally going to do it.
Are you
going to
do it?
Speakerphone.
Do you think the mic would pick that up?
What is it for? Is it for
I don't know.
government purposes?
I really hope Justin Trudeau just personally answers.
It's just like, hello, do you need a drama lesson? I can help you.
All right, well, I'm on the Government of Canada contact page. I didn't even know they had one. and I'm looking for the phone number here. I'm not seeing an obvious phone number listed.
Well, what? Oh, I'm not talking into my mic. I'm grabbing my phone. What is 1-800-O-Canada? Like, what are the here? I'm grabbing my phone for research purposes. Let me see. So 1-800-O would be 6. Canada would be 226. Wait, CAN. How do you spell Canada? CANADA. DA.
All right, she's calling the number. We're gonna see what we get.
I don't know how else it's gonna pick it up. I'm already hitting my phone against the microphone.
Calling 1-800 au Canada. Merci d'avoir appelé 1-800 au Canada. Our offices are currently closed. Please call us back Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
How can you have a national number and you don't even work weekends on your phone line?
This is the office for the country.
And it's only open Monday to Friday.
That's government for you.
So what do you call it for? Just like, hello, like, can I speak to Justin Trudeau? I have an issue about my, like, sewage drain.
If only I could get the Prime Minister.
It's like, I have talked to my city and they haven't done it, so I want to talk to Justin Trudeau personally, please.
I honestly, I'd wish that was possible. Speaking of our lovely Prime Minister,
you're not even gonna let me do one.
I'm gonna do this one quickly since we're on the subject.
Wow.
Justin Trudeau, our esteemed shirtless Prime Minister, who is not long for this world. Election time's coming up, people. Remember to go vote.
Yeah, but do you think after he's not elected anymore, they'll still sell shirtless calendars of him?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I have no question. I'm just looking for it here. So Justin Trudeau, before he was Prime Minister, had two at least listed jobs. One of which he was the bouncer at a nightclub, which is interesting because he's not a big person.
No, Justin Trudeau, is he tall? How tall is Justin Trudeau?
I don't know, but we're gonna fact check that real quick.
I'm going. Oh fuck! 1.8 meters. How much is 1.8 meters?
1.8 metric.
He's 6'2".
Oh, that is pretty tall.
But he's not. I'm making so much noise here. He's not like
bulky.
That's the word I'm looking for.
That's the word I'm looking for. Bulky.
He's not like buff.
No, I mean
like,
he's ripped.
If he needed to throw somebody out, how would he do it?
With Gino's help, I'm assuming.
Because like, when you think about it, like, do you think you'd be able to successfully be a bouncer?
No, absolutely.
Right. Like, if some 6'9" dude is like drunk off his balls, you're not going to be able to take him out.
No, I am a modest 5'10", maybe 5'9.5". I would not be
5'9.5".
Maybe modestly. I would not be able to be a bouncer. That is not my calling. There are people.
I don't think it's Justin Trudeau's calling either.
No. But you know what was his calling? A snowboard instructor.
See, I feel like that one surprises me less because every rich kid was a snowboarding instructor.
Fair.
Right? Like, every rich kid had that dad who was part of the snowboarding club, and they just, like, was the instructor because their dad was like, I'm not giving you an allowance anymore. You're 18 years old. So they're like, well, fuck, I guess I'm working with the snowboarding kids.
Dad, can you buy me all my snowboard gear? I need to be a snowboard instructor.
Literally, it's like...
Cowabunga, eh?
Yeah, but he was also a drama student. That's something worth mentioning.
Aspiring drama teacher. And I think that he's actually doing his best to live up to that aspiration.
I think so, too.
Because Canadian politics as of late have been pretty dramatic.
But well, while we're on the topic of Justin Trudeau, we need to mention the fact about his party trick.
Yes. If you haven't seen this video yet, and ahead of the 2019 election.
Wait, before we explain.
Okay.
Just YouTube Justin Trudeau party trick.
Just YouTube Justin Trudeau.
We'll give you a second to find it.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
All right. So please go watch this video. Justin Trudeau has an esteemed party trick that he would use to impress. I don't know. He explains it in the video. Is it to impress women? I don't know what it is.
It was to impress people, but I'm assuming what he means by that is he meant it's 2:30 in the morning and he is drunk and he wants to impress all of the girls.
I don't know. I don't know on what planet This
would impress somebody.
yeah.
It would make me laugh, to be fair, just because of my sense of humor.
I mean, you would laugh, but you wouldn't sleep with him.
I mean, it's his looks and his party trick, you know.
All right. Well, if you haven't watched the video, the party trick is he just throws himself down a flight of stairs.
His party trick is fake falling down the stairs, but he actually falls down the stairs.
I mean, if it is a trick, it looks pretty freaking realistic.
I think his point of the trick is like, hey, look, I can fall down the stairs without breaking my neck. Like, that's more of the trick.
Oh my god!
It's the point.
It was special, and that is the person that is currently running our country.
Oh my god. Okay, is it my turn?
Yep, go for it.
I didn't know this. So you can see more snakes in Winnipeg than anywhere else.
Do we have more context to that, or do we just see a shit ton of snakes?
I read that out loud and realized I didn't say like anywhere else in Canada, anywhere else in the world.
Anywhere else than where? Like at the zoo?
Okay, so this is from Reader's Digest. It says just
Lovely.
I feel like that's accurate, right? Reader's Digest.
I mean, well, their headlines certainly leave a lot to be desired.
It says just 130 kilometers north of Winnipeg is the Narcissus Snake Dens Conservation Area, where each spring tens and thousands of red-sided garter snakes slither out from their dens for a few weeks from mid-April to early May. Fortunately, there are viewing platforms up so you can watch them from the air. That's terrifying.
That sounds like your worst nightmare.
That's not something that I want.
Alicia, not a friend of snakes.
I am petrified of snakes.
Totally petrified.
But, I mean, what did they say? Garter snakes. Those aren't poisonous, right?
No, those are just like your typical garden snake.
Ugh, I don't need that.
All right, well, somewhere that is not terrifying. It's probably a lovely place for the female sex of our country.
The female sex
of our country.
All right.
Is to visit the lovely town of Dildo, Newfoundland. In Canada.
Not just females.
Not just females, no.
Men too.
I feel like they have special ones for that as well, don't they?
Yeah.
But anyway, Dildo is a town in Newfoundland, Canada. They have lots of signs pointing saying dildo this way. It's actually quite funny if you are aware of what a dildo is. This is a family-friendly show, though, so.
Is it? Because I've sworn like 5 times already.
No, it's not. That was sarcasm. They have a town mascot.
Is it spelled DILDO?
It is. It is spelled exactly how it sounds, or as you would expect. They have a mascot. The mascot is Captain Dildo, but it's Newfoundland. So the Captain Dildo is literally just like a fisherman's captain, just named Dildo.
Oh, they missed out on such a good opportunity.
I know,
there.
missed opportunity. But it is a lovely, lovely name.
Do you think the people of Newfoundland acknowledge the fact that their town is named after a sex toy, or do you think they just pretend that it's not?
I mean, I'm assuming they pretend that. I'm sure they have a whole different like lingo for sex toys in Newfoundland.
Yeah, like, do you have a dildo in dildo and be like, it's my dildo? Like, I feel like that's too confusing.
I feel like, you'd be so much more able to be open about, what you do behind closed doors, because you're like, yeah, I took out like my dildo last night, and it's like, how did you take an entire city out of your? And it's like, does that mean like you went out on the town? Oh,
that's funny. Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
So Canadians harvest icebergs in Labrador and Newfoundland. Did you know that we harvest icebergs?
Yeah, well, that they have like that. The iceberg water that costs like $6 at the grocery store.
Yeah, because
right?
it says here entrepreneurs are harvesting chunks of these cool marbles for some pretty unique products, including wine, vodka, beer, and even skincare products.
Yeah, the whole thing I feel is like, I don't know.
So
it seems pretty silly to me.
Is it because it's pure? Is that kind of the point of
well,
it?
it's like leftover glacier water, which is like pure, right? And like,
so it's like, but what about wine?
What do you mean? What about wine?
Like, how do you put glacier water in wine?
Well, you gotta like, it's not, use water to make wine, right? Like,
so you just use iceberg water?
I don't. It's silly. It's leave it to entrepreneurs to turn something that is like. I
kind of want to try iceberg water.
It's gonna taste exactly. The only thing that iceberg water doesn't have in it that like regular tap water has is fluoride.
Yeah. So doesn't that make it?
I don't know. Doesn't clean your teeth. Canada and Denmark have been fighting over an uninhabited island by leaving each other bottles of alcohol and changing their flags since the 1930s.
What kind of alcohol?
Well, I'm assuming we leave a bottle of Crown Royal.
What did they leave? What is it? Iceland, did you say?
Denmark.
Denmark. Those are two totally different things.
Yes, they are. But they've been fighting over this island rather peacefully. And I feel like that's the kind of like war the world needs, where we just leave each other delicious drinks.
How big is this island, though?
There's a picture of it here, and it's literally just like a rock. There's not even like grass on it. It's like literally just a rock in the middle of the ocean.
Honestly, that's so amazing. That's the kind of mood that I feel like America has with the moon. Do you know what I mean?
Have they even been to the moon, though?
No, but that's a different podcast.
No, it's a different
like,
podcast.
Somebody else flies up, knocks down the... No, seriously, if another country flew up and fucking just hit down the American flag and, like, broadcasted they pushed down the American flag, America would go up just to put their own flag back up on the moon.
They would spend literally billions of dollars.
Just to put their flag back up on the moon.
Just because, nobody freaking steps on America like that. You know what I'm saying?
Like, that's the mood of America.
That is. All right. What's your next headline?
Oh, we got it. Oh, these aren't headlines anymore. These are just facts.
These are just the facts now. Okay. Cool.
So there is a UFO landing pad in St. Paul, Alberta.
Is it like a big welcome sign or?
So it says one of Canada's most unique projects was in 1967, where they built the world's first UFO landing pad. The town provided the land, a local business provided building supplies, and they basically just built a pad so that if a UFO ever came to the world, they'd be able to land in Canada.
Well, Alberta would be the place to do it. They got plenty of cornfields. Make some nice crop circles.
That's fair. I don't know. I just feel like that's like... But the thing is like, yeah, you can have a UFO landing pad all you want. But if an alien comes to the Earth, they're not going to be like, oh, where's the UFO landing pad? Where should I land? They're just going to destroy everything.
Well, listen, I watch Star Trek. Aliens are like generally
but
pretty
even if they
people.
are nice, how are they going to find a landing pad in fucking Alberta?
That's a great question.
Like, they're going to land in an empty field if they're civilized. You know what I mean? They're not going to be like, let's just fly around. Maybe they have a landing pad for us.
We're like semi-intelligent. I don't know. Maybe they're not.
Yeah, okay, but even if we're semi-intelligent and we fly to a different planet, are we going to circle the planet trying to find a really, like, UFO landing pad?
No, we're not. We're just going to land on a freaking airstrip.
Right? Like, there's so many of those.
Yeah. Canada consumes the most donuts and has the most donut shops per capita of any country in the world. Not surprising. We have this thing in Canada. I'm sure you've heard of it. It's called Tim Hortons. There is one on literally every street corner. The minimum population size required to have a Tim Hortons designated to your city is 200 people.
What?
I don't know if that's a fact.
Are you just making that up?
I'm pretty sure I just made that up. But I have been to some pretty small towns. Still a Tim Hortons.
That's fair. I mean, there's a Tim Hortons. The thing is, though, is if you go to bigger cities, there's less Tim Hortons than there are Starbucks.
That's fair. Starbucks has really been taken over. I honestly, if I have the choice between like Starbucks and I'm looking for a nice coffee, I'm gonna go to Starbucks awfully. But I'm never gonna go to Starbucks to like buy a donut.
No, Starbucks doesn't have good food.
No, they have terrible. The only good food that they have is the banana bread, and when they did have it, the lemon poppy seed loaf. But they took that away. Probably because people were failing drug tests, but because there's opioids in poppy seeds, but whatever.
Okay, but Tim Hortons has like good food now. Like
they do.
Their breakfast sandwiches are good. Their grilled cheeses are good. They're like
I got their they have a new chicken sandwich, and I got that, and I'm like, that's if I were to take that chicken sandwich and like compare it to like the McDonald's chicken sandwich,
yeah, like
on
for
par, like
a
identical.
fast food place, like for like a coffee chain,
and it's way cheaper than McDonald's too. I don't know.
It?
Have you been to McDonald's? It's so freaking expensive.
McDonald's is expensive now,
and like
McDonald's is expensive because we don't just get the normal cheeseburger. That's why.
Right. Like if I go to McDonald's and I order like a full meal, it costs like a solid like $11. Go to Tim Hortons, it's like $6.
Yeah, because McDonald's between the two of us is like usually like over
20. We can like go out for like dinner.
And the thing is like we're not both getting separate meals. We usually each get our own food, and then we split a soft drink and fry. Like it's not like we're
crazy.
Like...
It used to be cheap, but I guess they have to like put like actual food in their meals now because health. But it's not just like salt and paste.
That's fair.
Although I'm pretty sure that's still what the chicken nuggets are. But
the chicken nuggets aren't real chicken, but that doesn't matter. Okay, are you ready? I feel like you probably already know this one.
Go for it.
I'm on the slides now.
All right.
Hawaiian pizza was invented in Canada.
I knew that. It was invented in, I think, southern Alberta, I want to say.
But did you know it's the most popular pizza in Australia?
I did not know that. I, personally, not a fan of fruit on pizza.
I like pineapple on pizza.
Do you?
I'm not like no, see the thing is like I'm not a huge fan, so I wouldn't go out of my way to order it on pizza, but if it's like on pizza already, like I can eat it. It's fine.
I mean me too, but should have been put there in the first place? I don't know. There's a lot there. The debate is open, I suppose, but
yeah, but what's funny to me is it was made in Canada and it somehow traveled all the way down to Australia, and now it's like the most popular pizza in Australia. You think like Hawaiian pizza would be invented in like Hawaii, Well,
I don't think it was originally called Hawaiian pizza. I think it became that because pineapples obviously come from Hawaii.
Yeah, so why was Canadians the first people to invent this? Because
I read the story. I read an article. I knew this because I read an article. Someone had interviewed the guy who invented the Hawaiian pizza. They like we have it like the inventor, I believe, recently died actually, but he owned a small pizza shop in like southern Alberta or Manitoba or something, not in Ontario, and he was just he was trying to get more customers because he was struggling to get customers, and he was just putting random stuff on pizza to see what stuck, and people loved ham and pineapple, and that all he served was like ham and pineapple on pizza, and they would come in droves in order to like get this like strange fruity pizza. Yeah, I don't know. I should look up that article, but it's a good one. Search for the guy who invented Hawaiian pizza. He was a Canadian. All right, I have a fact. So this one's pretty crazy. So if you've ever seen the movie Up, if you haven't actually seen the movie Up, it is about an old man who wants to go to a place where he always wanted to do with his wife before his wife died. So in order to get there and to avoid the like home people coming and taking him.
Is that the story plotline?
Have you never seen Up?
I have, but I didn't think that was the plotline of it.
Yeah, his wife dies.
His wife does die, but he's not flying away to go somewhere that they wanted to go together, is he?
Yeah, he is. That's the whole point.
Oh.
Because like their hero like fled and like or went to like look for this strange bird, right? Kevin.
Oh.
Right. Their
How
hero.
Do you remember this so well? You know names.
Kevin. You can't remember who. You can't forget Kevin.
Did you see this movie more than once?
Yeah, I have seen it a couple times.
Why?
We were kids once.
Yeah, but that movie didn't come out when we were kids.
Yeah, it came out in 2009.
Yeah, we weren't kids.
It's like 10 years ago. It was like 11.
Yeah, you're not a kid anymore.
Oh, Jesus.
Why were you? I saw Up in movie theaters. We were not 11 because I saw Up in movie theaters.
It came out in 2009, didn't it?
It did, but I saw it in movie theaters. But
so if it came out in 2009, that was 10 years. I would have been 11 years old.
I would have been 12.
So, I feel anyway. I feel like 11. So anyway, regardless of that, Up is about a guy and a Boy Scout. They attach a bunch of balloons to the house and they fly away in order to get to this magical land. In 2015, a Canadian man was arrested after tying more than 100 helium-filled balloons to a garden chair and flying over the city of Calgary.
That's honestly the way to live.
So this man watched Up and was like, I can do that.
But isn't there a story behind this? Like, wasn't it?
There is. So
that, like, he lost control of it, right?
Yeah, so the full story is that this man was actually an entrepreneur who owned a cleaning solutions company. And it was the day of the Calgary Stampede. And his plan was to fly the balloon chair over Calgary and land in the Stampede. However, as soon as he got, more than 100 feet off the ground, the helium expands as you rise, so it starts rising faster and faster. He couldn't control the ascent. Eventually got too high for him to control his balloon raft anymore, so he had to bail and skydive down to the ground.
Skydive down to the ground?
Yeah, he had like a parachute.
I think my favorite thing about that story is how he was like, oh my god, I lost control. But like, how are you planning on controlling a lawn chair full of balloons in the first
I don't know. They
place?
do it hot. They control hot air balloons somehow.
Yeah, but it wasn't a hot air balloon. He was just on a lawn chair full of balloons. It's like that Vine where he's like, "Oh, did you bring helium balloons to the car?" He's like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Oh, I told you not to bring those into the car," and the car starts floating.
I love that Vine.
It's a very good Vine.
That's a good one. Yeah, but I don't. That is just an incredible advertisement. I think. Unfortunately, did not succeed. He was arrested and then later released on bail. The chair and the balloons were never seen again.
Oh yeah, because I guess it would have like landed in an ocean somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, I have another fact.
Go for it.
Babies in Britain and Canada cry more than anywhere else in the world.
I believe it. We're a spoiled bunch.
But why not America?
Only spoiled people cry.
Why not America?
Because I don't know why not.
I guess America has trailer parks, right?
America has trailer parks.
Like, did anybody grow up in a trailer park in Canada? I feel like no.
You did.
No, I didn't.
Well, you spent most of your summer there.
I spent summers in a trailer park from like the ages of like 6 to 12. I can also just hear you clicking your laptop through the microphones.
No, you can't. You can't hear it.
Yeah, I can.
No, you can't.
Yeah, I can.
No, you can't. So Alicia and I were headed to High Park, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So we were driving down. I think Bloor Street West, headed over to High Park, and we passed a building where half of it was a strip club.
Oh yeah.
And the front half was a church.
Okay, no. So like what it was is it was like one of those buildings that like, you know how like houses are split in half? So
Yeah.
it was like that. And it was one side was a strip club and the other side was a church. So their wall was attached and it was just the two of them together.
Yeah, side by side. However, I'm looking at this fact slide in front of me, which quotes, "There is a strip club in Ontario, Canada, that doubles as a church on Sunday." And I'm thinking that's where it was.
Honestly, because I remember making a joke about that. I was like, what? Do you go see the strippers? And you just like pop on over to the church to confess?
Forgive me, Lord, for I have sinned heavily.
Yeah,
deeply.
but what is it called? I'm sorry. When you confess, it's a priest?
Yes, you confess to a priest.
Yeah, so the priest is also sinned if he's right next to a strip club.
I mean, is it good? I mean,
There's
is
no
he
way
just
he
there to
hasn't.
like? Does he like just like go do rounds like through the strip clubs like? Hail Mary, Hail Mary, Hail Mary.
Looks at a bit. Oh, Hail Mary.
It gives a whole new definition to naughty priest.
Oh my god. Moving on from that because I don't want to talk about that any longer.
All right, we're moving on.
So I have a question for you.
Yeah, go for
because
it.
I'm reading this now. I didn't know this.
All right.
How much like is Canada bigger than the United States?
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
Right.
Canada is just 1.5% larger than the land of the USA.
Really?
It's 1.5.
If you look at it on a map, Canada looks extremely
Well,
much
it
bigger.
says land, right? So surface area with water, because Nunavut's very like not Nunavut. Is it Nunavut? Northwest Territories. Which one is like very spread out island wise?
Yeah.
Right. So that makes it look bigger, but land percentage apparently it's only 1.5% larger.
It must just because like most of Canada is water.
Yeah, like we have a lot of lakes, obviously, and then like a lot of like those islands up above. So
There are more lakes in Canada, and I know that's not from the slide, but there are more lakes in Canada than the rest of the world combined. We have a lot of water here, people.
yeah, but we have like the Great Lakes are massive, right?
Well, the Great Lakes are the each individual Great Lake is like the largest enclosed body of water in the world. Which I know. What else we got here?
Why don't you give us a last one?
All right, I'm going to do the last one. Let me find a good one here. So prostitution in Canada is legal. So it is legal to be a prostitute. However, purchasing these services of said prostitute is not. Thoughts?
Well, I already knew this previously because I don't know. I think I've written papers about it, but it makes sense if you think about it logistically. It makes sense because if you're pimped out, you shouldn't have to go to jail for being forced to be a prostitute. But that like 60-year-old creepy man who bought you should be forced to go to jail.
I guess that makes logistical sense.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, good for you though if like you're being a prostitute on your own will, because there's literally no repercussions for you, so go for it. But there are those instances where people shouldn't, they're forced into it. So
they just got like a man on the corner and
that's
just
a
like
really somber note to end off too, though.
All right, I'm sorry.
Here, I have another one.
She has another one.
I have one off the top of my head. So Canada is so into maple syrup, they actually have reserves.
Right. Well, the whole maple syrup thing in Canada is rigged anyway.
Oh, I have another one.
Oh, you have it. All right. So she has another one. So we have before the maple syrup one goes, we do have a strategic reserve for maple syrup, but it's all just because it's rigged by like the Maple Syrup Consortium in Quebec.
Can you repeat that word?
Consortium.
Consortium.
That's a word.
I don't think it is.
Yeah, it absolutely is a word. Consortium. Look it up.
I believe you.
It's definitely a word.
Okay, I have one that's not on these fact sheets, but I just want to share it because I really love this story and I've written about it a few times.
Okay.
I'm so excited because
Okay.
this story honestly embodies who Canadians are, because we're those kind of people who are polite and don't want to bother anybody. And our story like showcases this. So there was a man.
There's a man.
In his like 60s.
He's in his 60s.
And he lives near Ottawa.
All right. We have Ottawa, so you know it's going to be good.
So, in case you're not from here, Ottawa had really big winter storms this year, like pushing out like 30 to 40 centimeters overnight, right?
Southern Ontario got pretty hit bad.
It was hit bad this year. And there was this man who was just in his house, woke up one day, and there was like 40 centimeters of snow on his ground, and he was like a little bit snowed in. He was like, can't shovel on my own, don't want to bother anybody, I'll just leave it. And it continued to snow until it got to the point where his entire house was completely snowed in. And he couldn't get out. And keep in mind, he had like work in electricity, work in like hydro, work in phone lines. So like, it's not like he was like, completely cut off from society. So he could still like, just like chill and watch TV or whatever. But he didn't want to call anybody to let them know that he was stuck inside of his house. So he just made the decision to be like, guess I'm just going to live here for the winter. And he lived off of his pantry food for 3 months, snowed into his house until his neighbors were like, oh, we haven't seen Bob in a while. Maybe we should like call the police. So they call the police. The police are like, oh, he's definitely dead. And they like dig in for like a rescue mission only to find him just like, chilling. He's like, I didn't want to bother anybody. So they like shoveled his driveway for him and bought him groceries.
Jesus Christ.
Like he snowed himself into his
bugger.
house and lived there for the entire winter. They're like, what were you planning on?
What kind of shitty neighbor do you have to be?
That doesn't notice for 3 months.
Honestly,
like
it's
he
like...
lived there the entire winter.
Oh my God. Also, what do you have to have in your pantry that you can survive?
Honestly.
Being comfortable for 3 months.
Like he must have had like, I'm assuming because he's older, he had like, like a reserve in case of emergencies, because that's how they were raised.
You know what it was? He just had a stock of Kraft dinner.
Honestly.
Kraft dinner and wieners.
Because
everybody.
That's the first thing I thought of when I heard the story, but there was no statements from her or anything, so that he didn't like. It's not knowledgeable what he survived off of, but it had to have been like like canned beans, stuff like that. But like, what amazed me the most about this too is just like, you're so polite to be like police were like, what were you planning on doing? He was like, wait until the snow melted.
I think that story ended by the police then went and did groceries.
Yeah,
for
they
him,
bought
didn't
him
they?
his groceries and then bought him groceries and like brought them back, and they also shoveled his entire driveway. And they also made sure that next winter he had like a therapist to like,
because he had no family or anything.
That
right?
didn't happen again. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining
Better
us.
than prostitutes stand on,
Oh my God. Thank you for joining us on the Tipsy Theory podcast for this rendition of The More You Know. This episode's sponsor is Groundhog.io, marketing automation for WordPress. Groundhog is a WordPress plugin that allows you to simplify, consolidate, and automate all of your sales and automation practices within the WordPress platform. So if you are a startup or a small business, or you're looking to start your own business and you need to promote your company and send messages to your customers, then Groundhog provides the ultimate platform for you to be able to do so quickly and extremely cost effectively, since it's free. So please go to groundhog.io. That is groundhog with 2 G's at the end, HOGG.io. Click the download now button, sign up, and get your copy of the free installable plugin today so you can start communicating with your customers more effectively. My name's been Adrian.
I'm Alicia.
And thank you for joining us.
Cue the outro music.